This is another forecasting question about Amani Pharmaceuticals Limited, which has presented its statement of profit or loss for the year ended 30th June 2022. Now we have the growth rate scenarios, the worst, the best, and the best. You can see. Now we have revenue, which goes to total assets. Additional information. Assume corporation tax rate of 30%. The growth rate in equity is only attributable to the changes in retained profits. They are saying, hint, in applying the growth rates, ignore the changes in opening and closing balances. Total equity will grow only as a result of retained profits. Required. Prepare spreadsheet showing the forecast statement of profit or loss for the next 3 years under each of the 3 scenarios. Compute the following metrics for evaluating performance under each scenario: the net profit margin, return on assets, and return on equity. Then present a summarized dashboard with suitable graphs to highlight revenues and net profits under each scenario. That is total of 20 marks. So we want to start with the first one, a forecast statement of profit or loss under each scenario. You already have a format on how that is supposed to be done. The title, 2023, 2024, and 2025 under each scenario. Now look at revenue, the answer for 2023. Revenue is 4,500. At worst, it will be 2%. At best, it will be 5%. At best, it will be 10%. So the correct formula here will be equal sign. Click on the 4,500, then lock it because it's a constant one, so lock it, times, open bracket, 1 plus, then click on the 2%. Then don't lock the 2% because we have worst, best, and best. So click on that and don't lock. Close bracket. So you see, we clicked on the 45, we locked it, times, then 1 plus, click on the rate. Don't lock because we have other rates. Enter and drag this across. Do the same for cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold will be equal sign. Click on the 3,200, lock it, times, open bracket, 1 plus, then click on the 2% here, don't lock, then bracket, enter, and you'll drag across. If you have a question, cost profit, select this and do Alt equal. Other income will be equal sign, click on the 1,300, lock it, times, open bracket, 1 plus, I think I clicked on the wrong one. This is a wrong one. This should be wrong cell, it's 15. This 15. Lock. Then now plus the rate, which is 2%, then close bracket. So we are using the 15, not the 13. 13 was gross profit. Drag across. Total income, just do Alt equal, and you get the total income. Alt equal, and we get the total income. Administration expense will be equal sign, click on the 210, lock, times, open bracket, 1 plus, click on the 5%, close bracket, and enter. That will give you 221, which then will be dragged across. It's constant at 555, so it doesn't change. Distribution equal sign, click on the 210, lock, times, open bracket, 1 plus, again, click on the 2, close bracket, enter. So that will still give you a varying figure, 214, 221, and 231. Earnings will be alt equal. Alt equal. Amend the earnings because it did not capture everything. So select from total income up to here, then alt equal. That will now give you the correct, let's see, it's still not picking. Alt equal. Now we have the correct one. Depreciation and amortization, so equal sign. Click on the 150, lock, times, open bracket, 1 plus, click on the 5% and close bracket, enter. Then drag across. Interest expense, not interest, but earning before interest. Select this and do alt equal to get the summation of earnings before interest and tax and interest expense. That is now earning before interest. The other one was the depreciation is the one that was deducted. Now interest is the 120, lock, times, open bracket, 1 plus the 10%, close bracket and enter. Drag across. Then earnings before tax, select this and do alt equal. You simply align at the center. Then we also eliminate this error. So you just ignore the error. Income tax, you can see 000, but tax is 30%. Assume that the tax rate is 30% in additional information number 1. So tax is 30%, equal sign. Click on the 617 times negative 30%. So you use times negative 30%. That will give you, the first one is 185, 193, and 209. On to the profit for the period. Profit for the period, you select this and do alt equal. Sum them up. And our profit for the period is as given. You select this and ignore this error. Retained profit for dividends paid. Dividends paid will be equal sign. Click on the other dividends, lock it, times, open bracket, 1 plus, click on the 10%, close bracket, enter. That becomes our dividends paid. The retained profit for the year is the summation of these two. Then you sum them up, alt equal. Ignore any error. Then this can be centered. Now the retained profit brought forward in 2023 is the one that was carried forward in 2022. This one here. So the answer will be equal sign. Click on the 735. 735. You can put that in a formula times, open bracket, it's even 0%. So times 1 plus, then click on the 0%, that is not moving. Close bracket and enter. Then you'll drag across. Same amount. Oh, that should be constant amount. I think that is wrong. We review, not be 0. This other side, it's a constant amount. This will be a constant amount. So to change that, we undo. It will be equal sign, then a constant of 735. 735 and lock your cell. It will be a constant of 735 for both scenarios because it cannot be 0 in the other scenarios. Then you will drag across because that becomes both. For all the scenarios in 2023, the retained profit brought forward becomes the carried forward for the other period. Then total will be carried forward. You sum this, alt equal, sum that so that you can get the profits that are carried forward. You simply add for the year and brought forward, for the year and brought forward. Now equity is here. They say that equity was 000, and they are saying the growth in equity is only attributable to changes in retained profits. So equity only grows because of changes in retained profits. What that means is profit for the year, the one that you brought in, the profit that you brought in is what results in the changes in equity. The profit for the year, like in this case, this is what results in the changes in equity as said here. The growth in equity is only attributable to changes in retained profits. So this cell for total equity will be equal sign. Click on this 2,200 and lock it, plus, so the 2,200 plus, then click on the profit for the year, which is 124. Don't use brought down and carried forward, just use for the year, attributable to changes in retained profits. So this is 124, profit for the year. That gives us the final answer, which is the 2324, 2342, and 2380. Finally, total assets. Total assets equal sign. The first one, lock it, times, open bracket, 1 plus, the rates are here, changing. So 5%. Close the bracket and enter. Then that will give us the final answer in the first scenario, the first year of 2023. Now on to the next one. This. Now 2024. Now we will base 2024 on the 2023 figures. We are going to base the 2024 on the 2023 figures, plus the rates will be as they are. So the first one for revenue will be equal sign. This is revenue and it will be equal sign. Click on this worst revenue for 2023, 4590. Don't lock because this is moving now, don't lock. Times, open bracket, 1 plus, then click on the rate that you've been given, the 2% rate. You can see the 2% rate that you've been given here, 2% rate. 2% rate. Don't lock it. Don't lock this rate. Nothing to lock there. Don't lock anything. Enter, then drag across. The good thing about the second part is that now we are moving to the cost of goods sold. You simply copy here, select this the way it is because the formulas will adjust, and copy, then paste just below it. It will adjust automatically. It will just adjust the formulas automatically. You can see it picks this times the other one. So you just copy and paste. Just copy and paste. You can see it's picking everything nicely. So what did we do? We said that simply select this. You can right click if you want, copy, then click here and paste if you want to use the longer way of copying and pasting. That can be underlined. That can be underlined. The other good thing again is that you can just alt equal here to get your answer as we move. Now, at the same formula we copied for revenue upper Jew, this one same here, you can still copy and paste here. You'll paste this, and you can see it's adjusting properly to pick what you want. So it's just picking everything that you want. So automatically, it means that we can move much more faster on this one compared to the other one. This other one, unless, okay, this other one here is total. So just get the alt equal because we want the total. That is alt equal. Because now you are summing to get some item. So this is the total of total income. Now the same formula up there for revenue, or you can take the one for what we have here, copy, and paste on this admin. This looks like admin. Then you can also paste on this other one, which looks like distribution. So those two can be gotten at the same time. The same formula instead of doing so many formulas. On to earnings before interest and tax. Sum, alt equal, to get the answer. So that becomes the earnings before interest and tax. Now what follows is depreciation and amortization, and we can use the same formula as what is up here and just copy and paste here. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Then we will do alt equal because this needs a summation. The one that follows needs a summation, so alt equal. And what we've just done is known as earnings before interest and tax. Earnings before interest and tax. We move to interest expense. The same formula can be copied again. The one that we used for revenue, copy and simply paste here because that will work again. And you will again add this to give us, that gives us earnings before tax, earnings before tax. Now remember, tax, you don't copy formula. They said tax is 30%. So tax is 30%. Tax is 30%. So tax is 30%, that will be equal sign, this cell times negative 30%, times negative 30%. Times negative 30. Then now earnings after tax. So if I'm too fast, you raise. Next one is dividend paid, which you can copy the same formula for revenue. Control C and paste it here. Dividends paid. So that works. Then the two can be summed because what follows is retained profit for the year. So this is retained profits for the year. The one that follows below is retained profits for the year. Retained profits for the year. There is no copying on this other one because this is retained profit brought forward. Retained profits brought forward. Now retained profits brought forward will be carried forward from 2023. They carried forward from 2023. So equal sign, the carried forward were these ones here. Carried forward the 859, 877, and 915. You can see that was the carried forward. Carried forward. Enter. Don't lock, just pick it, then drag across. So we are removing this, we are copying this from what we have here. These were the carried forwards the other time. They become the brought forwards here. the now retained profits carried forward for this year, as we can see, this now becomes the carried forward. You sum. Now the next one is total equity, and total equity was said to be growing only as a result of changes in profit. So equity is only changing as a result of the adjustment in profit, and that means that it will be the equity in 2022, the 2022 one, don't lock anything, the one for 2022 plus the profit for the year, which is 86. Profit for the year is 86. 86, enter. You use profit for the year, use profit for the year. Profit for the year. Now for total assets, you use the formula as above, the one for revenue. You simply copy the formula for revenue and paste here. That will be the end of the projection in the year 2024. So 2024, those are the results. So let us run the one for 2025. You will see a similarity of the same thing. So 2025, the first formula is important because that is what we'll be using throughout. This one. It is based on 2024. The 2025 is based in 2024, and that will be equal sign. Click on the revenue under worst for 2024 times, so that should be an accurate one. Don't lock, open bracket, 1 plus. Click on the growth rates. We have growth rate of 2%. The growth rate scenarios of 2% here. 2%, close bracket. And that formula is everything throughout the forecasting period. Drag across, and you can see it is based on 2024, but picking the ratios from the other, the original ratios. Copy the same, paste it down, and align that, and get the gross profit. Alt equal. Formula will be used on other income, the interest. I believe it was the interest. Other income, investment income. You simply copy. You can sum this. Can sum what we have here. Total income. Total income. That is total income. Then we move to the other one. Same formula as above for distribution and admin. The same formula as what we have in revenue. Copy. Paste in admin. Also paste in distribution. Paste in admin and paste in distribution. Sum. Alt equal to get our answers up there. So the same formula has been used for what we have here. Same formula has been used on, you copy the same formula up there, then paste it here. That looks wrong. So I copied, you paste for this. Getting it wrong, or I'm copying the wrong formula. So Control C, then Control V on this one. Then after taking it right, you sum, Alt equal. This one should be underlined. Now what follows? What follows is interest. The same formula as above can just be pasted. Copy, then paste here. and alt equal alt equal. It's not well centered. Okay. Now the next one is again the formula that you can just copy. We can confirm what is this. Income tax. Income tax is 30%. So don't copy income tax. The income tax is 30%. So equal sign 596 times negative 30%. So that is income tax. It is 179. Then sum this, the alt equal alt equal. Now this that follows, dividend paid, you can use the same formula as above for dividend paid. Dividend paid. So the dividend paid. Then add this. Add. Now what follows is now retained earnings carried forward. And you know about retained earnings brought forward, I mean. The retained earnings brought forward will be the carried forward for the previous year, the previous period. So that will be equal sign, and you go for this carried forward, the carried forward here, the dark one, the one that is in bold for 2024. Sum to get carried forward, that is now carried forward, carried forward. Then finally, equity. Equity only changes as a result of changes in profit. So equity only changes as a result of changes in profit. That will be equal sign the previous equity in 2023 plus the profit for the year, the retained earnings for the year, the retained earnings for the year. So 2410 plus 45. That gives us up to the last one. Then you can use the formula for revenue, copy, and paste it on the last one, which is assets. So the last one is assets, which is growing with some percentages. So click on assets. You paste on assets, and that completes our forecasting for the periods. You can see forecasting under those periods that were given: 2023, 2024, 2025. After forecasting part A, we move to the other remaining part, that is part B. Compute net profit margin, return on assets, and return on equity. So net profit margin, return on assets, and return on equity under each scenario. Now net profit margin, we have a summary where we want to get those answers. Net profit margin is simply net profit over revenue. Net profit over revenue. So that will be equal sign. Go under each scenario. Here we are. Look for net profit. Net profit is profit for the year. So net profit is here, the 432. 432 divide with revenue. Divide that with revenue. So that is this divided by revenue. Enter. And we have the answers. Just drag across to get those answers. You can do the same for 2024. That will be equal sign. Look for net profit. Net profit is 425. This 425. We confirm. The 425, yes. Divide with the revenue, which is 4682, divided by 4682. You can see how the formula for division is slash, enter, then drag across, drag across, drag across, do the same for 2025. That will be equal sign. Look for profit in 2025. Profit is 417. This is the profit, 417. This one. Divide that with 4775. I hope that is profit exactly. Divide by, you can see what is speaking. This divide by sales. Enter. Then you can drag that across. Now I repeat, net profit margin is net profit over revenue, net profit over sales. Now return on assets is net profit over total assets, net profit over total assets. So that will be equal sign for 2023. 2023, net profit is 432. Divide that with assets. Total assets are here. The total assets are the last part. This is the total assets. So 432 over 4725. Copy this across. Do the same for 2024. Now 2024, again, profit, the 425, divide that with 4961 over 4961. And that will be copied across. Finally, the last one, equal sign. Then profit for 2025 is 417. Divide that with 5209. Divide by 5209. Enter. And copy across. That is how you get the return on assets. Return on equity. Return on equity. That is net profit over equity. So that will be equal sign for 2023. Still, the net profit is 432. But now divide with equity. Equity is this, 2324 over 2324. That gives us 18.59. So 18.59. 18.59. 2024, again, profit, which is 425. Divide that with 2410. Divide that with 2410. That gives us some answers. Then finally, the last ratio for 2025, return on equity is net profit for the year over equity. So that will be for 2025, 417, that is the profit for the year. Divide that with equity, which is 2455. And that gives us the final answers as given. So those were the ratios required. So the last part of the question, present a summarized dashboard with suitable graphs to highlight the revenues and net profit under each scenario. So dashboard, revenues and net profits under each scenario. Let's see. So they want the revenues and net profit under each scenario. Revenue and net profit under each scenario. Of course, for each of the years, or revenue and net profit under each scenario for the 3 years. Now, this is what you do for the chart. Pick for 2023 the scenario. Control key the revenue. Remember they said revenue and net profit. revenue and net profit under each scenario. So I've picked the scenarios, then I've picked revenue, control key held down, then profits. Profits are here. The profit for the year, control key down, and you also pick this. So I've picked the scenario here, the revenue, and the profit. Then you do a chart. You do a chart for those three items. Recommended, just pick a recommended chart. Any chart. This, then okay. Edit it. So bring in the axis title. You can use grid line if you want. This other side is amount. Then this one is scenario. Scenario. Then this is 2023 chart. So I want to change these things. I want to edit something here because this one should tell us revenue and profit. Revenue and profit. So you can right click. You simply right click and select data. Right click and select data. So what have I done? You right click anywhere in the chart. Click on select data, or you can just click here. There is select data here.
Mwalimu, I'm lost.
Select data. Where?
On where you
So as I said, this is the chart for 2023. Then this other side is amount. Then here, I want to change this to revenue and profit. Revenue and profit. So you can right click and select data. When you have this, change this thing. You can always change this. Can this be edited? Yeah. So I want to edit this. Series 1, edit to revenue. Then okay. Click on series 2. Again, edit. Now this series 2 is profit. Then okay. So we now have our items that have been changed. So revenue and profit cut. We'll do the second chart so that you can see how we've managed to do this. So that is the first chart for the first period. First chart, we move to the second chart. So this axis is scenario. Did not change this one to be scenario. So that is the first chart. Second chart, same as that for 2024. Now check the 2024. Pick from worst and drag to best. Then hold the control key down and select the 4682. This is revenue to the end. So you select this, then hold down the control key, select this other one. Then profit is the 425, this one. So select this. Selected. Again, start with this, hold down the control key and select this, and finally select the profit, which is this. Of course, this is the profit. I'm not guessing, this is the profit for the year. Go to insert, recommended chart. You can pick another chart of your liking, like this. Then okay. Once you have this, we want to edit this part. That you see, the series should be revenue and profit. So right click anywhere inside the chart, then select data. Click on series 1, edit, write revenue, then okay. Click on series 2, edit, and select write profit. Then okay. Then now okay again, the other parts are fine. You can bring in the both axes, This is now scenario, then amount. Scenario, then we have amount on the other side. Amount. Scenario. So something strange is happening. This one should be scenario. Nope, that should be amount. Then this other one should be scenario. You don't want the grid lines, then you can also change the colors. You can change the colors. Cut and place it here. That is our chart again. So the last chart, in the same way of selection, the last chart. This is 2024, before we forget, that is 2024. Now we select for 2025. 2025. Pick worst, best, and best. Worst, best, and best. Then control key down. Select the revenues. Drag with the control key down. Now pick the profit. This is profit. The 417 to the end. That way. Insert. You can see the way I've selected. Then insert recommended. We can go for this or any other chart. Let me go for which chart, or even I think that is fine. A combination, you can go for a combination or can go for which chart. This one, let me pick this, then okay. Right click, select data, series 1, edit, this is revenue. Okay, series 2, edit, this is profit. Then okay. Okay again. Grid lines, axis, this is 2025. Scenario, and I'm seeing percentages. Where did we get percentages from? I'm seeing some percentages. Okay, we can use percentages, no problem. Percentages of revenue. This is percentage of revenue. Just percentage. Can use it the way it is. That's how the chart was. Or if that looks bad, you can change to another chart type if the percentages look like what you don't want. Now even line doesn't look bad. Line, let me go for line. So I've changed to line. This will be amount.
Mwalimu, how did you change?
How did you change? You click on change chart type. Change chart type. So inside the chart, then chart tools, change chart type. Change chart type. Then this can be brought at the bottom, and we are done with that particular question. Change the color. Another one. Yes, that was the question, Amani Pharmaceuticals in 2022, December. So December 2022, question 21. We started by forecasting, which we finished. Then after forecasting, we have seen us also doing the ratios and finishing with some dashboard.